series of 10-minute Pilates. So this tight's 10 minutes, we're going to spend lying supine or on our backs on the mat. So get yourself a nice comfy mat, maybe you might need a cushion, and lie down on your back. So to get correct alignment, we're going to have ankles, knees, hips in line. We're going to have hip bones level, and it's going to be level with the pubic bone. So we're going to have a nice little bit, nice straight bikini patch here. Shoulders are nice and relaxed and away from your ears, and arms are by your side. I want you to imagine this drawing together of the hip bones just to get a little bit of a connection with your abdominals. It's not massive, it's just a small connection. And focus on pulling up through pelvic floor just a little bit. So you're kind of bringing your tailbone and your pubic bone together just a small amount. From there, we're just going to ease off the lower back. I'm just going to lift my top so you can see what's happening. Hands on the hips, and you're just going to rock your pelvis backwards. So the belly button comes down towards the spine, and your tailbone then lifted just a little bit. And then you're going to rock it the other way. So you're putting more pressure on your tailbone and creating just a little bit of an arch. And then again, so we're just going to rock it backwards and forwards. This is a pelvic tilt. And just breathe normally. At this point, breathing's all going to confuse you, but please don't hold your breath at any time. Now, find a point in between those two ranges of movement that feels central to you, and I'm about there. And hopefully we'll have that pubic bone and hip bones in line. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Now, if you're feeling uncomfortable and you can see more of the ceiling behind you than you can in front, then you may need to place a cushion or several cushions underneath your head. Otherwise, we can just grab hold of the back of the head and just lengthen the neck, and we should be nice and stable. A little nod on the chin is fine. So what I'd like to do is just focus on this pelvic stability. So what I want you to do is I just want you to let your right leg just drop to the side like so, and then bring it back and let the other one drop to the side. Okay. So I've asked you to do it like that because I want you to see how it's done wrong. So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep the pelvis nice and still. The right leg is just going to move ever so slowly to the side. And the left side and the left leg and the left hip is not going to move at all. So it only goes so far. And you might only be able to move a centimetre, and that's fine. And then bring it back. And then the other side. So you'll find one side is a lot easier than the other. So it's literally just letting the knees drop to the side without anything else moving. So if you let it, you find that your knee will go so far and then all of a sudden it will move. But we don't want that. We want you to remain in control. So it's just a little drop to the side. I'm not going to do too many. Because you can always press replay and come back and have another go. Be careful that the other leg isn't moving. Imagine there's a hot cup of tea just on the knee. And if you move that leg, you're going to spill that hot liquid all over your delicate bits, shall we say. One more. Okay. And then bring it back to centre now. We're just going to lift the arms up in front like so. So we've got a nice right angle between the elbow. And we're going to inhale, and we're just going to let the arms drop to the side. What I don't want to see is that kind of arch. The ribs stay nice and connected. And then close. So if you've got big boobs like me, and I'm not bragging, it just how it happens to be, then you'll have trouble getting the elbows together. And then open. Okay. Now if you can't get your arms all the way to the floor because you're a little bit tight through the chest, just give it time. Okay, so we're just going to do one more. Bring the arms together on the exhale. Now you're going to inhale and just take one arm to the side, making sure that you're not rocking from shoulder blade to shoulder blade. And then the other arm goes to the side. One more. So now you're going to add in the leg, the exercise we've just done. So one leg goes to the side as one arm goes to the side and nothing moves. Usually the hardest bit of this exercise is actually coordinating the moves, and it's a little bit more difficult. Make sure you've got that connection still with your abdominals. We tend to let that go with everything else going on. And if these arms are a little bit too much at the moment and you're still rocking through your pelvis, then leave the arms alone. We've got one more to even us up. You can do as many of these as you want. We've got 10 minutes, so I'm going rather quick. Bring the arms down by your side. Make sure you've got that connection and you're all neutral. And what I want you to do, you could just focus on my feet. You're just going to hover one off the floor, but we're going to try and keep here nice and still. So literally, less is more. small lift. So here is relatively easy, but we're just going to lift it here. And as you lift that foot, you might just get a little bit of tension around this area here. And that's just your stabilizers working. And we place it down. Try and control any movement through here as we lift the other foot. Now one foot's going to lift fairly easy and the other one's going to be like really hard work. Yeah? So we're just going from one foot to the other. Connection with the abdominals. And then we're going to let the arms shoot up. Now I quite like to have the thumbs facing behind because it's just the correct way that the bone actually sits in the socket. And we're going to inhale and let the arms go behind. Now if you've got restricted movement in your chest, which unfortunately I have, then your arms may not go all the way to the floor. But if I take my arms all the way back, you can see that my ribs come and flare and my lower back arches. So about there is my range. So you find your range and then bring the arms back. So we inhale and under, and we exhale and back. Now, hopefully through gravity and through just doing a few repetitions, your arms should get lower each time. But if they don't, it's not. You know, no one's going to die. Now just take the arms up to the ceiling and leave them there. So now what we're going to add in that coordination. So I want you to float your left foot off the floor and take your right arm back. And then bring everything back to centre, so it is literally a flow, and it's coordinating. That's it. Keeping that pelvis nice and still by connecting with the abdominals. The last one. Bring everything back to the floor, reset your connection, and you're just going to lift your right leg into tabletop. So this is tabletop. Yep. So if you've got a back problem, you may want to keep one foot on the floor, that's fine, or pull this leg in just to make sure that your back is safe. What I would like you to do now is just tilt that pelvis backwards, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, push that other foot off the floor millimetres. And that should be a massive contraction in your lower abdominals. And then place it down, place this leg down, lift the other leg into tabletop. Take a breath in, float that lower back into the mat, and breathe out as you lift that one. While you're holding there, just try and breathe normally, don't hold your breath. Yeah. Massive contraction in the lower abdominals, belly's pulled in, you've no choice. Okay. Bring both legs up. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to lower one leg now until you get that connection with your abdominals, a little bit of a pull. And for some of you that might be here. But whatever we do, if we don't allow this back to go loose, because that's quite painful, yeah? We keep the back nice and neutral or imprinted as we lower that leg down, and then bring it up and swap it for the other one. It shouldn't touch the floor, because as soon as you touch the floor, your abdominals are going to switch off. So let's try 5 on each leg. One more. Put one foot down, and then the other. And have a little wriggle. Okay. So now we're going to let the arms just lengthen along the mat. And we're just going to make sure that the ears are away from the shoulders while lengthening the back of the neck. A little tuck on the head. We're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as we breathe out, we're going to push our shoulder blades, our bra strap into the mat and just lift ourselves up. And then lower back down. Okay? So taking a breath in as you breathe out. Of course, if you've got neck issues, you won't be doing this. If you've got osteoporosis, you shouldn't be doing this. Okay? So just bear that in mind. Go back to the exercise we've just done with the leg lowers. I don't believe too much in flexion, so I don't do too many of these. Just going to do 2 more. Make sure your belly stays as flat when you roll up as when you're lying down. Yeah? The last one. And take it down. Relax. We're going to bring the knees together and the ankles. And this is just as if you've got one leg. We're going to let the arms come out to the side. And we're going to keep the knees together as we just take it up. Now you only take it as far as you can keep shoulders on the floor. And then bring it back to centre on the other side. down in your centre and the other side. This is quite a nice one. Just hold the legs there long enough to feel a little bit of a stretch, and you might find with this one that you start to work your way down your mat. I know I am. We're just going to do one more. And then I'm going to draw one knee into the chest, and then the other one, and just have a little roll around. Just do 5 pats one way, and then 5 the other. Put one foot down, and then the other.